On January 6, 2026, the entire landscape of astrophysics was shattered by a single release of data that the mainstream media barely knew how to handle. Astronomers and deep space enthusiasts woke up to a revelation that makes the discovery of gravitational waves look like a high school science project. We are talking about high-resolution 8K images of a deep space object that has been quietly catalogued as 3I Atlas. This isn't just another blurry blob in a star field, folks. This is the anomaly that breaks the back of galactic theory. For decades, we have been told that we understand how black holes and active galactic nuclei work, but this object laughs in the face of those models. What the scientific community was given a glimpse of is a phenomenon that defies the conventional physics of jet formation. It features a rare, impossible triple jet structure that has left the so-called experts completely stunned. As these images were processed and refined using state-of-the-art techniques, the picture that emerged wasn't just baffling, it was terrifyingly spectacular. We are looking at a discovery that is going to force us to rewrite the textbooks on cosmic physics from page 1. The 3I Atlas system presents an intricate and remarkable phenomenon that simply should not exist in nature. It is a formation of three nearly identical jets emanated from a single galactic core, locked in a geometry that makes no sense. Most active galactic nuclei, or AGN, are known to exhibit single or double jets expelled in opposite directions due to magnetic polarity. This is basic physics, or at least that is what they have been telling us for the last 50 years. However, in the case of 3I Atlas, astronomers have observed something unique, a triple jet system where all three streams display near-perfect symmetry. The jets appear to be structured in such a way that their alignment suggests a gravitational interaction at the center of the system that is artificial or exotic. It hints at forces we have yet to fully comprehend, or perhaps forces that mainstream science is afraid to admit exist. These jets, unlike anything previously observed by the JWST or ground-based arrays, seem to exhibit a complex gravitational dance at their core. This is a phenomenon so rare that scientists have been left wondering if this is a glimpse into a far more intricate cosmic system. What is most striking about these jets is their identical morphology, which is a fancy way of saying they look exactly the same. Each of the three jets displays a near-perfect alignment in terms of structure, density, and direction. This goes completely against the grain of conventional models of galactic behavior, which rely on chaos and entropy. Typically, astrophysical models predict a much more chaotic and unpredictable appearance in these types of systems. We usually see irregularities in jet formation resulting from fluctuating gravitational influences and debris in the accretion disk. The uniformity seen in the 3I Atlas jets has caused many to reconsider their assumptions about the dynamics of black holes. It is leading to speculative discussions in backroom channels about the underlying causes of such impossible symmetry. Could this represent a new class of galactic phenomenon that we have yet to fully identify in our catalog of the stars? Or is there something deeper, perhaps even beyond our current understanding of physics, that is at work here? The heat signature captured by the imaging of 3I Atlas provides another massive clue to the peculiarities of the object. The refinement of the 3D light path reconstruction has revealed a stunning gradient of energy across the system that looks engineered. At its core, a brilliant blue-green ionization signature transitions into fiery orange and deep violet gas clouds. These colors are indicative of high-energy interactions that are far more complex than the standard X-ray emissions we are used to seeing. The heat map appears to reflect a dynamic and evolving process, which is not simply the steady output of a dumb cosmic object. It looks like a signal of something much more fluid, multifaceted, and dare I say, intelligent. This gradient could theoretically represent the motion of ionized gases being expelled into space by natural forces. But its intensity and configuration suggest that there may be forces at play that are currently beyond the scope of conventional models. Could this unusual heat distribution be the product of a new kind of cosmic force we haven't discovered yet? Could it point to something more exotic, like the presence of advanced technology operating on a galactic scale? Avi Loeb has been warning us to look for technosignatures, and this fits the bill better than anything we have seen before. Adding another layer of complexity to this discovery is the spatial consistency observed over a 30-day window. The jets, rather than exhibiting the random fluctuations of a dying star, maintained a steady, fluid motion. This consistency was maintained across the entire observation window, defying the chaotic nature of superheated gas. This level of stability is incredibly rare in deep space phenomena, where violence and turbulence are the norm. Typically, jets emanating from active galactic centers can appear to shift or change direction wildly. They are influenced by a variety of factors, such as gravitational tugging from nearby stars or changes in the cosmic environment. But in the case of 3I Atlas, the jets behave with a fluidity and consistency that is unnerving. It makes them resemble a living organism or a finely tuned machine, more than a static star. This could suggest that the formation is not only stable, but actively dynamic in a way that standard models cannot explain. The idea of a living, breathing cosmic entity seems insane until you look at the data. One that is in constant motion and evolution seems more plausible than ever, as 3I Atlas defies normal expectations. As with many groundbreaking discoveries in astronomy, the images captured were not without their initial challenges. The original data was plagued by deep space noise and sensor grain, which the skeptics tried to use to dismiss the findings. This noise often obscured the finer details of the jets and their intricate structures, hiding the truth. To combat this, advanced techniques were employed to scrub away the extraneous artifacts. They had to enhance the clarity of the images to prove that what they were seeing was actually there. These processes included isolating the signal to remove foreground noise, a vital step in bringing the system into focus. The breakthrough in this imaging process has not only allowed for a clearer understanding of 3I Atlas, but validated the anomaly. It has also paved the way for future exploration of deep space anomalies that were previously hidden by static. With these refined images, scientists have been able to isolate the structure of the jets definitively. They can now observe their formation in much greater detail than ever before, and the results are undeniable. This attention to detail has provided new insights into the nature of cosmic jet dynamics that make no sense under current models. It suggests that the process of jet formation may be more intricate and multifaceted than previously thought. Furthermore, the enhancement of the 3D jet clarity has revealed one of the most significant aspects of the formation. We are talking about the recessional jet, a feature that was almost lost in the background radiation. The use of advanced 3D modeling techniques has brought this third jet into sharper focus. It reveals that it is not simply a two-dimensional optical illusion caused by lensing. It is a multidimensional expulsion of energy that is punching a hole through the local medium. This discovery is crucial because it suggests that 3I Atlas is not just a typical galactic object. Rather, it is a highly dynamic multidimensional system operating on principles we don't understand. The 3D nature of the recessional jet adds an additional layer of complexity to the formation. It points toward a deeper understanding of how objects like 3I Atlas function on a cosmic scale. With such groundbreaking discoveries emerging, the implications for the future of space exploration are vast. The insights gathered from the 3I Atlas anomaly could pave the way for the development of new physics. It will allow us to explore and understand cosmic phenomena with an unprecedented level of detail. Imagine technologies that can peer deeper into the universe, utilizing the principles we learn from this object. We could get a clearer view of the forces at work in the most distant regions of space. The refined 3D imaging techniques used to capture the jets of 3I Atlas are just the beginning. They already hint at a future where space telescopes can generate images with even greater clarity. This could lead to a better understanding of galactic formation and the death of stars. But more importantly, it could illuminate the processes that govern the behavior of cosmic objects at an unprecedented scale. One of the most tantalizing possibilities arising from this discovery is the potential for energy manipulation. If 3I Atlas's jets are the product of some unknown process or advanced mechanism, it changes everything. It could signal a new era in how we understand and harness energy in space. The formation's unusual energy gradient, shifting from blue-green to fiery orange, is a map. It suggests that the behavior of high-energy particles in deep space may follow patterns we have yet to uncover. Could these energy signatures be harnessed for practical use by a civilization advanced enough to reach them? Perhaps they could even serve as an energy source for future space missions if we can replicate the physics. As we begin to understand these phenomena in greater detail, the impossible becomes possible. It is conceivable that new energy sources could be discovered within our lifetimes. This could potentially revolutionize space travel and our ability to power spacecraft beyond our solar system. Additionally, the insights into gravitational studies provided by 3i Atlas are mind-bending. It could reshape our understanding of how gravity operates in the extreme environments of deep space. That triple jet formation might not just be an anomaly in structure, it is a smoking gun. It could reveal something fundamental about how massive objects like black holes interact with the fabric of spacetime. The precise way in which these jets align and maintain stability is the key. It could provide clues about gravitational forces that act as a stabilizing agent rather than a destructive one. This offers scientists new methods of studying the distortion of spacetime around black holes. We might even be uncovering new gravitational phenomena that Enrico Fermi never dreamed of. The implications for the study of general relativity and quantum mechanics are profound. It potentially leads to new theories about how gravity and other fundamental forces work in the vast expanse. Even more speculative are the possibilities for space travel that this object implies. The advancements in imaging and understanding the behaviors of such cosmic objects might one day save us. They could enable us to develop technologies that could manipulate gravitational fields locally. Perhaps this is the key to enabling faster-than-light travel or warp drive technology. The discovery of new cosmic forces or technologies at play within the 3i Atlas system is an inspiration. It could inspire new propulsion methods for spacecraft that we haven't even drawn on a napkin yet. This would allow us to travel further and faster through space, breaking the chains of chemical rockets. We are pushing the boundaries of what is possible with space exploration every time we look at this image. These breakthroughs could serve as stepping stones toward realizing humanity's long-held dream. Interstellar travel is no longer just science fiction if we can understand what 3i Atlas is doing. In the coming years, as more data is gathered and analyzed, the picture will sharpen. We may begin to uncover more about the forces that govern such complex systems. Whether this leads to a deeper understanding of cosmic forces or the discovery of aliens, it matters. The mystery of 3i Atlas promises to remain one of the most intriguing puzzles in modern astronomy. For now, the scientific community stands on the brink of a new era in space exploration. It is an era that may ultimately reshape our understanding of the universe and our place in it. But let's take a step back and really look at what the skeptics are trying to say. They want you to believe that this is just a trick of the light or a sensor glitch. They are terrified of the idea that the universe is more complex than their standard models allow. When you look at the symmetry of those three jets, you have to ask yourself a hard question. Does nature really produce perfect triangles in the chaos of a galactic core? Nature is messy, nature is violent, nature does not usually draw straight lines in the dark. The symmetry here implies order, and order implies a mechanism that maintains it. If you were to look at a swirling whirlpool, you wouldn't expect to see three perfect streams of water shooting out. You would expect chaos, splashing, and unpredictability, yet here we have the opposite. This is why the living organism theory is gaining traction in the underground astronomy circles. If a cell can organize itself, why can't a star system organize itself under the right conditions? Or, if we want to go down the rabbit hole, is this a megastructure? We have looked for Dyson spheres for years, expecting to see a shell around a star. But maybe a Type 3 civilization doesn't build shells, maybe they build engines. A triple jet configuration could be the exhaust of a mechanism so large we can't comprehend its purpose. The blue-green ionization is particularly interesting because it suggests oxygen or other heavy elements. Typically, jets are composed of hydrogen and helium, the basic building blocks of stars. To see such a complex chemical signature in a high-energy jet is bizarre. It implies that the material being ejected has been processed or refined in some way. This connects back to the idea of the recessional jet being a multidimensional expulsion. If this object is manipulating matter at a subatomic level, the colors make sense. It is stripping electrons in a way that creates a very specific spectral signature. The scientists at the European Space Agency are scratching their heads over this one. They know that if they admit they can't explain it, they lose funding and credibility. So they use vague terms like anomaly and unprecedented phenomenon to cover their ignorance. But here at Space Nest, we don't buy the corporate line. We look at the data, and the data says that 3i Atlas is something new. The stability over the 30-day observation period is the nail in the coffin for the random event theory. A random explosion does not hold a perfect formation for a month. Think about an explosion on Earth. It expands, dissipates, and creates a mess. It does not form three perfect lines that stay steady while the smoke clears. This stability requires a constant input of energy and a guidance system. Whether that guidance is a magnetic field or something artificial is the million-dollar question. And let's talk about the location of 3I Atlas for a moment. It sits in a region of deep space that was previously thought to be relatively empty. Why is something this energetic sitting in the middle of nowhere? Usually we find AGN in the center of massive galaxy clusters, feeding on debris. 3I Atlas seems to be alone, which makes its energy output even more suspicious. Where is it getting the fuel to sustain three massive jets of ionized gas? Perpetual motion machines are supposed to be impossible, yet this thing keeps going. It challenges the conservation of energy laws that we hold so dear. Unless, of course, it is tapping into zero-point energy or vacuum energy. If that is the case, then 3I Atlas is a beacon showing us that free energy is possible. This is why the energy sector might be nervously watching these developments. If we figure out how this thing works, the oil and gas economy is finished. The implications ripple out far beyond just astronomy and physics. They touch on economics, philosophy, and our very definition of life. The 3D reconstruction was a masterstroke by the independent researchers who processed the data. They didn't rely on the automated algorithms that NASA uses to smooth out images. They went in by hand, frame by frame, to preserve the structural integrity of the jets. This is why they found the recessional jet that the automated systems missed. It just goes to show that human intuition is still superior to AI when it comes to discovery. The computer saw noise, the human eye saw a pattern. This recessional jet is the third leg of the stool, the piece that makes the structure stable. Without it, the other two jets would likely collapse or twist into each other. It acts as a counterbalance, a stabilizer that keeps the system in check. That kind of engineering, and I use that word deliberately, is breathtaking. We are looking at a cosmic gyroscope that creates its own gravity well. The potential for propulsion technology here cannot be overstated. If we could build a miniature version of 3I Atlas, we would have an engine that could take us to Mars in days. We wouldn't be sitting on top of explosive chemicals, we would be riding a gravity wave. The JUICE mission and other probes are great, but they are using archaic technology. We are burning dinosaurs to get into orbit while the universe is using high-energy physics. It is time for us to wake up and start learning from the masters. 3I Atlas is a classroom, and class is in session. But are we paying attention, or are we too busy arguing about dark matter? Dark matter is the carpet they sweep everything under when the math doesn't work. 3I Atlas proves that there is visible, tangible physics that we are ignoring. We don't need to invent invisible matter to explain this. We need to invent better theories. The fiery orange and deep violet clouds mentioned in the report are beautiful, but they are also violent. Violet light is at the high end of the visible spectrum, bordering on ultraviolet. This means the gas is incredibly hot, likely millions of degrees, yet it is contained within a structured stream rather than exploding outward. What kind of magnetic bottle can hold gas at that temperature in a straight line for light years? We struggle to contain fusion reactions on Earth for more than a few seconds. 3I Atlas has been doing it for who knows how long. The scale of this containment is what suggests a Type 2 civilization or higher. If you can bottle a star's worth of energy and shoot it in a straight line, you are a god. And if this is a natural phenomenon, then nature is a much better engineer than we gave her credit for. The gradient from blue-green to orange suggests a cooling process as the jet travels. This gives us a timeline and a velocity for the material being ejected. By measuring the redshift and the color shift, we can calculate the speed of the jets. Early estimates suggest they are moving at a significant fraction of the speed of light. Accelerating that much mass to relativistic speeds requires energy that is off the charts. It is the kind of energy that destroys solar systems, yet here it is, controlled. The Space Nest community has been buzzing about this since the images dropped. We know that the best discoveries don't come from press releases, they come from the raw data. And the raw data of 3I Atlas is the most exciting thing I have seen in years. It beats the WOW signal, it beats Tabby's star, it beats Oumuamua, because this isn't just a blip or a flickering light, it is a structure. You can point a telescope at it and see it, day after day, doing the impossible. The consistency is what makes it scientifically rigorous. You can't dismiss it as a glitch when it is there every single night. So what happens next? The mainstream will try to bore us with papers about magnetic reconnection events. They will try to use big words to make the anomaly disappear into the background noise. But we won't let them forget about the triple jet. We will keep asking why the symmetry is perfect. We will keep asking about the blue-green ionization. We will keep asking about the recessional jet that shouldn't be there. Because that is what we do. We ask the questions that make them uncomfortable. The universe is full of mysteries, but 3I Atlas is a challenge. It is challenging us to be smarter, to look deeper, and to dream bigger. If we can crack the code of this object, we unlock the stars. It is that simple and that complicated. The future of humanity is not on Earth, it is out there among the anomalies. And 3I Atlas might just be the signpost pointing the way. We need to dedicate more resources to studying this specific object. Forget the surveys that look at everything, look at this one thing, stare at it until it gives up its secrets, use the JWST, use the ground arrays, use everything we have, because the payoff for understanding this physics is infinite. It is the difference between being a planetary species and a galactic one. So, to all the astronomers out there listening, don't ignore the weird stuff. The weird stuff is where the breakthroughs happen. Don't be afraid to publish the paper that says, "We don't know." "We don't know" is the most exciting phrase in science, and right now, regarding 3I Atlas, we definitely don't know. But we are going to find out, one way or another. The distinct lack of chaos in the jets is what keeps me up at night. Chaos is the rule of the universe. Entropy always wins. But 3I Atlas is fighting entropy and winning. It is creating order out of the vacuum. That is the definition of life, isn't it? Resisting entropy, maybe the universe is more alive than we think. Maybe galaxies are just cells in a much larger body. And maybe 3I Atlas is a neuron firing and we just happen to see the flash. It is a poetic thought, but the physics might actually support it. The connection between the macroscopic and the microscopic is undeniable. The patterns repeat, as above, so below. If we look at 3I Atlas as a biological function rather than a mechanical one, it changes the analysis. We stop looking for engines and start looking for organs. We stop looking for fuel and start looking for metabolism. It is a paradigm shift that might be necessary to understand what we are seeing. The angry astronaut approach has always been to question the narrative. And the narrative on this one is incredibly weak. They released the images because they had to, not because they wanted to. They knew the amateur community would find it eventually, so they got ahead of the story, released the refined images, and hoped we wouldn't notice the weirdness. But Space Nest noticed. We noticed the symmetry, we noticed the colors, we noticed the third jet, and we are going to keep talking about it until we get a real answer. Not a press release, but an answer. The 3D modeling is the smoking gun. You cannot fake a 3D volume from a 2D image unless the data is there. The data supports the triple jet structure 100%. There is no ambiguity in the math, only in the interpretation. The interpretation is where the bias comes in. Scientists are biased towards what they already know. They want it to be a black hole because they have models for black holes. They don't want it to be a white hole or a wormhole because those are theoretical. Well, 3I Atlas is making the theoretical practical. It is sitting there, mocking our theories. It is time to throw out the old models and start fresh. Look at the data without the baggage of the last century. What does the data say? It says there are 3 jets. It says they are stable. It says they are high energy. It says they are organized. Start there and see where the math leads you. It might lead you to perihelion, or it might lead you to another dimension. But you have to be willing to follow the path. The gradient of energy is a roadmap. Blue-green to orange to violet. Follow the colors, follow the heat, follow the ionization. It tells a story of transformation. Matter is being transformed into energy and back again. It is the ultimate alchemy. If we can replicate that, we solve our energy crisis forever. No more fossil fuels, no more nuclear waste. Just pure, clean cosmic energy. That is the promise of 3I Atlas. It is a promise of a better future if we are brave enough to seize it. But bravery is in short supply in the academic world. They are afraid of being wrong. But you have to be willing to be wrong to be right. I am willing to be wrong about 3I Atlas being artificial, but I am not willing to accept that it is normal because there is nothing normal about it. It is the most abnormal thing we have ever seen. And that is why I love it. It reminds us that the universe is vast, mysterious, and terrifying. It reminds us that we are small and that we know nothing. And that is a good place to be. Because when you know nothing, you can learn everything. We are at the beginning of a learning curve that goes straight up. The 3I Atlas discovery is day one of a new calendar. The pre-Atlas era and the post-Atlas era. History will look back on January 6, 2026 as the turning point. The day we realized we didn't know how the universe works. And the day we started to figure it out for real. The excitement in the community is palpable. You can feel it in the forums, in the comments, in the emails. People know that this is big. Though they might not understand the physics, but they understand the implication. Something big is out there. Though then it is waking up. Or maybe it has always been awake, and we just opened our eyes. The sensor grain that was scrubbed away might have held even more secrets. I worry about what was lost in the refinement process. Did they scrub away the structure of the ship? Did they scrub away the signal carrier wave? We may never know, but the jets remain. The jets are the fingerprint that cannot be erased. They point to a source that is powerful and precise. Precision is the hallmark of intelligence. Random nature is rarely precise to this degree. That is the argument that keeps coming back. The statistical probability of 3 jets forming in perfect symmetry by accident is 0. It is effectively 0. If it wasn't an accident, what caused it? That is the question that will define the next decade of astronomy. And Space Nest will be here every step of the way. We will be tracking the papers, the data releases, and the silence. Kilograms, because sometimes the silence tells you more than the noise. When they stop talking about 3I Atlas, that is when you know they found something real. But for now, the images are out, and the cat is out of the bag. We have a triple jet anomaly. We have a mystery, and we have a community ready to solve it. So keep your eyes on the stars, folks. The universe is getting weirder by the day. And 3I Atlas is leading the charge into the unknown. We are just along for the ride. Make sure you are paying attention, because you don't want to miss what happens next. This is history in the making. Stay curious, stay suspicious, and keep watching the skies. This is Space Nest, signing off.